Hi, I'm Dana Vetsan, and welcome to the final activity of the Foundation Sprint Workshop, inspired by Jake Knapp and John Zeratsky's book, Click. At this point, you've picked which problem you're solving and explored a range of approaches that could resonate with your customers. Now it's time to bring it all home by filling out your founding hypothesis, or your best guess, or your best assumption. The founding hypothesis is a concise statement that spells out who you're helping, what you're solving, and why they're choosing your solution over anything else. If you are new to the Foundation Sprint, I recommend starting with what is the Foundation Sprint video and then working through day one and day two lessons. Each exercise in this course builds on the previous one, so you'll want to ensure you have the right context before diving into the founding hypothesis. Every breakthrough project begins with a set of assumptions. By formulating a founding hypothesis, you would bring these assumptions into the open and test them against reality. More often than not, the results challenge your expectations in unexpected ways. Sometimes you might be even surprised or disappointed by what you discover. But wait, I have a story. Let's rewind to the launch of Segway. Its inventors envisioned a future where urban transportation would be completely transformed by a futuristic, self balancing vehicle. They believed that by solving the everyday hassle of short distance travel, the Segway would become the ultimate solution for urban commuters, a device that would revolutionize the way we move through our cities. The founding hypothesis behind it might have been something like if we help urban commuters overcome the hassle of short distance travel with a futuristic, high tech, self balancing ride, they will choose the Segway over walking, biking, public transportation, or driving because it is revolutionary, eco friendly, and poised to transform urban mobility. Yet, reality told a different story. In practice, Segway struggled on many fronts, but here are three popular ones. Solving a non existing problem. The inventors believed they were revolutionizing short distance travel, but in fact, urban commuters already had effective, affordable options like walking, biking, and public transit. High cost. With a $5,000 price tag, the Segway was out of reach for most consumers. This price tag clashed with its vision as a mass market solution. And its futuristic design, rather than inspiring widespread adoption, made it seem like a weird looking luxury item. Instead of becoming an indispensable mobility tool, it was often seen as impractical for everyday use. This is why the founding hypothesis is so crucial. Rather than assuming the world craves for your bold vision, you articulate it as a testable guess, one that invites honest feedback, that allows you to pivot quickly when reality doesn't align with your expectation. In today's session, we'll explore how crafting and testing your founding hypothesis can transform raw ideas into solutions that resonate with customers. This is a 30-minute exercise, is the final decisive one in the Foundation Sprint workshop and happens right after your team returns from their lunch break. Let's see how it works. In this activity, you'll draw on the work you've already done. Start by referring back to your key artifacts, the basics. Here you'll find the core details about your target customer, their specific problem, your competitors, the alternatives, and so on. Then you have the mini manifesto. Here is your 2 by 2 chart pairings of your unique strengths that you decided to emphasize. The magic lenses, basically, here you find your top voted solutions or your first choice approaches. And then basically, using those artifacts, you'll engage in a group discussion and collectively fill out the founding hypothesis, following this template. Allow the conversations to flow naturally, encourage iterations, and don't be afraid to challenge each other's assumptions. The goal here is to keep your hypothesis concise, direct, and grounded in reality. To illustrate, consider the data and analytics team we've used as an example throughout this course, who wanted to align on a new value proposition that leverages the different data sets their company already has. They revisited their artifacts, discussed their findings openly, and refined their hypothesis until it captured the core value of their solution. The best way to facilitate the discussion is to copy paste the key artifacts the team needs to refer back to, the basics, the mini manifesto, and the top voted approach. Of course, as a facilitator, you can prepare this during the lunch break and have everything handy by the time that the team returns. In their case, they filled out the founding hypothesis with a customer that we are already familiar with, data protection and security professionals, help them solve the inefficiencies and fragmentations of manual research. That's the problem. With proactive and personalized AI compliance assistant, which they'll choose over Thomson Reuters, OneTrust, and informal peer conversations because our solution is highly automated, personalized, accurate, and integrates with existing workflows. Now it's your team's turn to write down the founding hypothesis. Allow 20 minutes for open conversations. Once your team documented that single statement, pause and ask, how sure are we really? Each piece of your hypothesis, the customer, the problem, the approach, the differentiation, is testable. To make this tangible, Knapp suggests using a yes and no scorecard that basically asks, have you identified the customer segment that needs this the most? Are you confident this is a real issue to solve? Is your solution the right approach? Do you provide a compelling reason for customers to abandon the status quo or a competitor? Do you clearly stand out from the status quo or competitors? Do you and your stakeholders genuinely believe in this hypothesis? As a facilitator, invite each team member to place their avatar on the mirror alignment scale for each item. Yes, next to I'm confident we nailed it, or no, I'm not convinced at all, or maybe place it somewhere in between if you think you have parts right but you still have doubts. Seeing everyone's comfort level side by side will spark a fresh dialogue. Maybe you've missed something, or perhaps your approach is a little too vague, or you still have team members who are not on board. Remind the team the founding hypothesis is still just a guess, and each yes no vote is an invitation to test, refine, or pivot, especially in the upcoming phases. The more you clarify where you stand, the more motivated you'll be to validate or disprove those assumptions with real users. By the end of this exercise, you'll have a clear, testable founding hypothesis that sums up your bold vision. The feedback from your scorecard pinpoints where you need more evidence. If everyone's confident, fantastic. If not, that's equally valuable. At least you know where to focus next. Either way, you leave this workshop with a shared understanding of what you're validating, who it's for, and why it might just click. So, congratulations, you've completed the 2-day foundation sprint workshop. Up next, turning these assumptions into reality throughout actual experimentation and testing. And the best way to do it is with design sprints. If you want to learn more about design sprints and how to build a team of pro facilitators, check out Design Sprint Academy website for corporate training programs. I hope you enjoyed this course and I can't wait to see how you put these insights into practice.